Oh yeah, so emotional intelligence. How do you get it? What allowed you?
Is it recording already?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay.
I only met Art like one time. Like I could just instantly he just sees me. I felt really seen. I was like, whoa. I was like, damn.
He saw
But,
right through you.
yeah, and then I saw like his like emotional capacity and the emotional intelligence. I guess I wanted to know what it takes to have emotional intelligence and what kind of things maybe have shaped you to.
I think there's
Something
there's two ways that you can go about it. So how most people get emotional intelligence is through a lot of life experiences. So the more broken you are, the more wiser you are in a sense. So like my life is pretty messed up. Yeah, from like no family growing up, first death at 10 years old. Yeah. So it's kind of like there's one way which most people get the emotional intelligence, but it's not a guarantee.
Because a lot of people get just broken down.
Yeah, broken down, and then they go there. But if you strive from that, that's how a lot of people gain like emotional intelligence through like understanding and reflecting through their thing. Another way, which is a lot more common nowadays, is kind of like just through teachings, like people sharing stories, teaching, and then just a lot of like self-reflection, and that's how people get like, if I share a lot of stories with them, and I actually have like a bunch of students, and they're 21, but everybody who has met them doesn't think they're 21. Like,
what do you think is the difference between the people that get like crushed by those like terrible life experiences, those traumatic experiences, versus the people that persevere?
I think it's that one is kind of like, it's just luck in a sense.
Luck.
Yeah, luck in a sense, and willpower. Luck in a sense that like, you don't know, how do I say this? It's luck because not everybody's built. It's like a saying that we had when I was back in the army, where not everybody's built to be a soldier. Not everybody's built to be in the front lines. Not everybody's built to be... Yeah, no, but
what I think nature plays a part, right? You're saying.
Yeah. So it's almost like you're born with the innate ability to withstand all these kind of like things.
Innate resilience.
Yeah, innate resilience, or like you just so happen to strike the lottery for like being in an environment that allows you to fight so hard.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, go ahead.
I would say that I think perspective plays a big part in what. Because they did a study on people who see stress as a negative thing and people who see stress as a positive thing. And the only difference between these two groups of people, like they put them in two different groups, the only difference was that they just see stress in group A positive light, group B a negative light, right?
They see it as an opportunity.
Yeah, some think that stress will make you, tired, run out of energy, just like broken and shit, right? I forget the specifics of how exactly their perspectives are defined, but the point is group A sees stress in a positive light, as in stress is something to use, and stress is a good thing to make you work harder and perform at a higher level of excellence. And the group B sees it as like, stress is gonna break you down.
It's something bad and I want to avoid it and experience it as least as possible.
Exactly, and then they took Group A and Group B and they put them through the same challenges.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is that Group A, the one that saw stress in a positive light, just made that their reality. And stress did impact their brains biologically in a positive way. Whereas the ones who saw it in a negative light, it affected them in a negative way.
Their brain probably deteriorates a little bit too.
Yeah, and you can see the biological effects, and it's insane because the only difference was that how they saw stress. Just a matter of perspective.
That's a very, very good point. It's definitely like all perspective.
Do you see it as an opportunity when you like stress?
Yeah. I think you definitely experienced this like when we were like, especially in the army. It's like very, very obvious. You see some people stressed, they're like,
what do I do?
And then they just break down and they do like stupid stuff like, you're like, can you do this? And they're like, and then you're just like, yo, chill, And
like
it's
they
like
get mad and like fucking swing and shit, like
like you see people, like you see people's true colors. Like you definitely see everybody's true colors, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, and you see how people really work around. And that's why not everybody's like, that's why you need sergeants. Like he's a sergeant, I was a sergeant too. And then like, it's like very different how everybody handles stress. Like for me, since I was a kid, I always saw like any challenge or stress as a way for me to kind of grow. And the more I can tank, the bigger like things I can do. Yeah. And I always was like, but then I was like such a kid, right? Like when I was a kid, I was just like, oh, if I want to be a godlike level, I have to take like insane levels of stress. But yes, it's all perspective. That's a very good point.
Right.
It's how you see it. And it's also, and with perspective, it's how your environment shapes you to see the perspective. Because depending, right? Like you can be a very resilient person, but if you grew up with parents, uncles, friends, classmates being always negative and everything, and so
So when you see somebody and like you're able to like feel them, is it kind of like you're relating, like let's say somebody's in pain, like are you relating it to, because you know like that feeling of pain, like so
I see what you're getting at.
Are you relating it to your own experience of pain, or are you like completely like connecting to their pain, would you say?
So for the first half of my life, I would relate it to my pain, and the second half, I learned how to actually kind of like see it from their perspective. Because I was always told like, you cannot be so hard on people, you cannot give them, expect them to be at your standards or with your kind of understanding and everything, because everybody walks through a different path. You can be same country, same city, same high school, same everything, but completely different lives, completely different perspectives. Right. So my friends were always like, you need to see it from their perspective to understand them, so that you could like, relate to them a bit more. So I guess to put it in more organized, it's kind of like to attain emotional intelligence in the sense of being retrospective of your own and being able to see and understand and empathize other people. There's a few things you need to do, right? Other than like reflecting on yourself, it's also like, if I want to be good friends with like them, let's say, where we are in such different stages of our lives, how do you do that? How do I get along with somebody who's, let's say struggles, low income, everything, higher income and all that. And because I was surrounded by so many different walks of life, and I wanted to, and I obsessed since I was 14, I obsessed with like, I want to be able to communicate with anybody and everybody, because I think it was such a, important skill to have. So that was what forced, but with
was it just the important skill, or was it also you?
It started as an important skill actually. So it started as, I just want to be as capable as possible, very simple. And then as, the journey to attain those skills progressed, I realized that, you need to understand the many different types of friends, the different circles of friends. There's your core friends, and then there's your core work friends, and then there's all this kind of stuff. And understanding what each type of friend is helps you become a better friend too. Because it's like, let's say with my crazy schedule and my crazy work life and my lifestyle, right? I can't expect, Shafin to do the same thing. I can't expect them to do the same. I'm like, yo, what you doing,
Was there any part of you, like your desire to connect with anybody, come from a place of you wanting to feel connected?
Yes, because I grew up with no family. Right. I wasn't really raised by anybody but my uncle, and then lost my uncle who raised me at 10 years old. And then after like seeing him die, and then see a lot of like other friends die, like I think I lost like 25 over people. And then but it's kind of like with each like death, with each loss, even just losing friendships and everything, and being so alone since I was a kid, I crave for that connection. I crave to feel like I belong somewhere. And after a while, like I remember, like my one of my mentors was just like, life isn't fair, so make it fair. Sometimes you just gotta grab the world and just like try to do it. And if you break down and you're too weak, then you find a way to get stronger. So that's kind of how I force myself to cultivate what I have today.
Is that your compass now today?
Yes.
Try to make the world like a better place?
Yes. So it's been that. And I guess through that, it's like, life is nothing if you have nobody to laugh, to cry, to, share all these experiences with. You can be rich and famous, and that's why there's so many rich and famous like people who just kill themselves and are depressed. People are like, oh, you have everything. No, you don't. Honestly, like the best kind of richness to have in life is having people you really vibe and connect with. So that forced me to switch my perspective, and I guess that's where I kind of started gaining I guess you can call it emotional intelligence, to really understand, see people, make them feel seen, and all that kind of stuff through like having a lot of conversations. And that's how I acquire all these skills.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.